for another video. My name is Josh Kasich, and today, well, this is my Sword Art Online review. I know this is anime, this is a little different. Now, Sword Art Online is a show I've been watching with my dad. I've been watching a lot of anime with my dad. We kind of missed the first two seasons. We started watching the third season, and that's kind of where we had off. And I really enjoyed the third season so far. There's 22 episodes, and so I decided to find a way and go back to watch the first season, the second season, and then anything else that they have. And I really enjoyed it. The animation is really good, the sound's really good, and I really enjoyed the series. I definitely know that now I know the series is kind of an arc, and the Alicization arc, which is the third season, it's kind of, I'm not sure if they're going to split that in an arc, because right now this arc is like 22 episodes long, which is normally not normal. Like, back in the other episodes, the arcs are like 12 episodes. And I looked at some reviewers, and they kind of said that the character and the story development isn't the best. The sound and everything else is better. And they feel like the characters are one-dimensional, the girls are stereotypes, all that. I guess in a way that I definitely kind of see with their point. Although, I'm not a critic, and I've enjoyed the third season. I went back, and I don't know, I guess people don't like one-dimensional because they can't relate to them. But I don't think I watch a show just to relate to the characters. I don't think I've ever watched a show just to relate the characters. I mean, I don't know. I just find characters enjoying, and I think Sword Art Online is definitely big on the entertainment with the action, all that. So yeah, maybe the characters are one-dimensional, but honestly, I don't care about that. Although, yeah, I do feel like maybe the arc stories are a little rushed. I thought they were pretty good. Yeah, I know there's some questions that they had, but they never answered. Like, why did the creator... this is going to spoil it here if you haven't seen it. But the first arc of the first season was that basically a bunch of characters are trapped in this new virtual reality where the creator got rid of the logout bomb. And if you die in the game, you will die in real life, because the thing will destroy your brain. The thing that allows you to go into the virtual reality will kill you. Now, the game was called Sword Art Online. The question is, why did the creator do this? Do you want to have a god complex? Why he did this and that, you know? And that question was never answered. I do see that there are some flaws in the story. I do agree. I get Kirito. He's basically like, he's playing solo which is like impossible, like in the type of game, like no one actually plays solo, and he pretty much does everything he does is done well. I get that, but I find that entertaining. I don't really care if I can't relate to him. I don't need to relate to that character. I mean, if I want to, I wish I can be that character, and in that way, like, to be in there, you know, just... Well, I don't want to be in a game that I could die, and I definitely ain't as good as games as him, so obviously if I actually did in that game, I would die. But, you know, like, you said you can't relate to the character. I get that. It's not, no one can be that character. It's not really possible. But the fact is that we kind of want to be that type of character, right? You know, and I want to be him, I guess, you know, being really skilled, being the bad guys, every left or right. That's why I kind of enjoy him. I understand that the females, yeah, I get it. They're kind of just there for Kirito, their character development. They are like fighters, and then another point, kind of scared, you know, emotionally, like. You know, it's like it kind of goes back and forth. I think that's another Kirito complaint as well, is that he kind of goes from one thing to another thing to another thing. I really get that, and I understand one of my complaints of the first scene is obviously that Kirito basically, like 3 episodes in, he's already like level like 80 something, and I feel like because they wanted to push the arc into 20 episodes, I get them. You know, it could have been better, right? And I get that. a lot. That's one thing I do not really like, that he's already kind of good. I know he's already good, you've been playing it, I get that, but 70, like, third episode in, or fourth, or something, he's already, like, impossible to beat. I think that is a little crazy, if you ask me, but, overall, I really enjoyed the series. It's kind of weird, like, they split into 2 arcs. It's a little weird that way. Maybe that's another complaint I have. I don't know, it's kind of weird, but I enjoyed it. Definitely this show has a lot of, it's supposed to kind of based on real life, but we haven't had the virtual tech as our virtual tech, or how much we are getting to that point is not as good as in the show, because obviously the show takes place a few years from now, like 5, well, like 6, we're in 2019, roughly takes like 24, 25, so we're close to the time place, but we're not there yet with the virtual tech, stuff like that. So, but it's supposed to take place in real life, and so there's a lot of real life stuff in it, like stuff that, if you know me at school, you know, there might be a little stuff that I wouldn't really agree with. Most of it's actually in the spin-off series that has nothing to do with, called Sword Art Online Alternative Gun Gale Online, which is supposed to be another game, but that's usually in the 2nd season when that was introduced. But there was jokes about it in the actual series. Like, there wasn't actually any per se character. But I want to go in depth because I'm leaving my beliefs. I want to leave that out. I'm not going to really go on that. And I watch a lot of shows where, like, I watch the CW DC shows, and there's definitely stuff in that I don't agree with. But I don't let that stuff that I don't disagree with ruin something that I think I enjoyed. So that's why, you know, yeah, there might be stuff in there that kind of goes against what I believe, but most of it's kind of small, and I enjoy pretty much everything else. Definitely when they get a chance, they kind of mistreat the female characters. I get that, and kind of show off some stuff but it's not much, actually, and they kind of, like, they do try to hide a little bit of it, like, they kind of show it, but, it's not as much as other shows, and other anime, so they do try to somewhat, hide it, not much, but I think the 3rd season had less of it. Now, like, watching the 1st season, like, 3rd season didn't really have anything so far on that, like, except for near the end where the, what's her name? The kind of, I think, the bad guy of the arc, the, person, let's just say she kind of seduces a character, and kind of takes off her clothes, okay? But, to seduce her, but, that, and even that, like, her hair, they used her hair to hide stuff. Not much, I mean, you can still see it, but, you know, however, that, like I said, that stuff is very small, so I don't, like I said, I don't really care about that, as much, because I mean, if it was really big, I would probably have a problem with the show, but it's not too big, anyway. I definitely like the I know, like, I feel like, yeah, you know, they kind of show that Kirito, like, other characters love Kirito, pretty much all the small amount of females, even though there's a lot of them, actually, well, main characters anyway, because there's a lot of female main characters, but, they're all falling for Kirito, but obviously I think the only relationship that's really is Kirito and Asuna. I mean, she's the main character, obviously, but yeah, they are pretty big. I actually love their relationship. I don't know if other people do. I'm a really big fan on romantic subplots. Yeah, maybe if they're a little forced, that's a problem, but overall, pretty okay. I love romantic subplots. I really enjoyed that. a lot of people don't like the, from what I read, they don't like the Yui character, the one that's supposed to be like the adopted daughter of, in the virtual reality, the adopted daughter of Kirito and Asuna. But I actually like that. I thought that was cool. So I definitely have to say, but overall, the third season arc is much better because it's pushed a lot longer. Yes, there's time jumps, but I think overall, the more episodes an arc has, the better storytelling you have because you spread out that story. I think a lot of people complain about that the first and second season, that the story isn't really good and that it's too fast, it's not consistent, it's not stuff. And I think the third season is getting better. Now, the second arc of the second season was really beautiful, like an emotional ending. A character of name of her name is Yuki, Yuki Kuno, which is funny because Austin's last name is Yuki, which there was another joke, but I'm like I said, I'm not going to go into that, just leaving that out. And she had AIDS, and she was dying, and the reason why she used virtual reality was a new system to keep these patients kind of, instead of hurting, like, like somewhere they could be at peace. And I think that's really interesting. Unfortunately, if you haven't seen a spoiler, she obviously dies at the end. It's really sad. And Asuna, this big part, the reason why I think is the best part is because it has the best storytelling. And it doesn't actually put Asuna as one of those, just Kirito's one of Kirito's girls. She actually has a lot of development in this arc, and it was really about her and this character, and not Kirito. Although he is the main character, he was kind of sidelined for this arc, and I think a lot of people enjoyed that. Because I think, like I said, a lot of people don't like Kirito, even though he's the main character. And it's really good. So I find that really interesting. The story was beautiful. I don't like it when a character that I get attached to dies, and that's kind of the part I don't like, because you do really get emotionally attached to Yuki Kuno and all the characters in the arc, and it's kind of sad. It's really sad. Like I don't know, I can't, like, honestly, I can't cry at movies anymore. I used to, but like it doesn't come out. But I tell you, I was kind of sad. Like you could tell, it was really emotionally sad at near the end. Now, the first arc of the second season had the same problems, but I think is much better. Definitely, they did the female character in that thing was her in-game name was Seinen, I think. But her real name is, I keep forgetting her first name, or whatever, but her name is Asuna, and her emotional backstory is that basically when she was young, that basically her mother and her were in a bank and stuff, and a robber came in, and basically, I'm not sure if he shot a guy. I'm not sure if he died or not. They didn't really go in that death, but basically because the guy wasn't giving him the money fast enough, he shot a guy, and then he pointed the gun at the girl to put the money in there, and she just stalled, and then he said, "Okay, I'll shoot this one now." Asuna's mother was pushed down to the ground while he was walking in, and so she was on the ground, and he was saying, "I'm going to shoot this woman here if you don't give me that money." And then Asa jumps up and bits his hand, and he drops the gun, and she grabs it, and then the guy goes after her, and he gets shot, and then he gets up and tries to go after her again, and then she shoots him in the shoulder. And then he gets up again, and then she shoots him in the head, and he dies. And she ever since that, she has a phobia of guns. Yet, she basically, the new near the end of the first season, there was this seed thing that Kayaba, the creator of SAO, gave to Kirito to put on the server so that all over the world people can create their own virtual game. Now, Kayaba actually killed himself after this arc, but reason what happened in the first season was that basically near the end, the whole point is they had to reach 100 levels to win, but basically, so we had this bunch of group of people being a boss, like a skeleton thing, and basically there was guilds. You could be part of guilds, like group of people. Asuna was part of the Blood Oath, and the leader of the Blood Oath actually turned out to be Kayaba, which Kirito found out. And so basically as a reward for Kirito for figuring him out, he offered him a battle. If he wins, everyone could go home free who was left. Now 4,000 people actually died near the end of it, which is actually pretty sad. And he basically he blasted he killed these, what was it? Okay, so Kirito had a battle with him. Now, basically, since he's the creator, he actually had he was an immoral object. Now, an immoral object is basically anything that cannot be destroyed. And so, since he was the creator, he could do that. Now, what he decided to do is turn it off so that it was a fair fight with Kirito. And Kirito was loser. And basically, Asuna jumped in the way, his love, and she basically died. Well, not really. Somehow she lived. Because after that, Kirito was dying because Kirito got up, and because he just killed his lover. He thought she was dead, but he got stabbed and he was dying, and he did die. But somehow his will allowed him to break from that and stab and kill Kayaba's character. And made him win, and everyone goes home. And somehow that was enough time to save Asuna. Okay, that's a little weird, but that's how he wins. And everyone was the people that lived were able to go home. And so that's why that was interesting. So in the next arc, the new game that was made by America was called Gun Gale Online. Guns. America. Really? Okay, I know America loves their guns, but really? Okay, whatever. It doesn't matter. That was interesting. And so the main character, and then the whole point is they gave an emotional story to Kirito. Kirito was basically while in the game he knew he had to save people, but he realized that he kind of forgot that he actually killed 3 people, and this time something allows him to have emotional breakdown because he realized that he did actually kill people. See, there's these people in the game called PK, but in the game like SAO, PK usually refers to characters that just like to kill, characters, but kill game characters, the people's game characters. But in SAO, people actually die if you die in the game. So these PKers, they don't just kill a character, they kill a game character. They kill the person playing the character, and these have these guilds that do that, and so Kirito and Blood Oath and all these people came to take out this guild of PK killers, and he ended up killing 2 people there. And then there was another scene where basically Kirito was being killed by this Blood Oath, who's actually part of one of the PKers, and Asuna saves him. but also let her guard down because she was giving him mercy, and she was walking away, and the guy got up and was about to kill her. But Kirito got up and basically, I don't know, whatever he did with his hand, killed the guy. So he killed 3 people, and that was an emotional thing. But in this first arc, you had Death Guns, who basically somehow in the game he shoots a person, but in real life the person playing the character had heart failure and stopped and killed the character. But what really happened was that basically the Death Gun was actually one of those PK killer survivors, and he had 2 partners who also survived. And what he did is when he shoots a person in the game, his partner kills the person in real life with a drug or some type of poison. And it turns out one of Asa's friends was one of those people, and he's really obsessed with Asa, like love obsessed. And so he went kind of cuckoo, if you ask me. So that's what happened near the end of that arc, is that basically he was going to kill, he wasn't really going to kill her because he's loved, but that was the point, is that she was one of the big characters in Gun Gale, something like that. And so, but Kirito's able to come and save her. But the reason how they were able to do that is that basically when you're signing up for a tournament, you put your information in. So this guy had, the Death Gun had a cloak that allows them to go invisible, and even in-game battles and the safe zones. And he walked up and invisible and looked at these people's credentials and then told his partners. And so whenever he kills the person in the game, the person will go in and kill the guy. But Death Gun was stopped by Kirito and stuff like that. And obviously, what's cool, Gun Gale, they had a lightsaber, but they call them photon swords, so we cannot be sued by Star Wars, whatever. And in the spinoff, someone had a red double lightsaber or double photon sword. Okay, so, but other than that, that's it was interesting. And so, and the third arc was basically, the third season has, so far it's now over, but it has to do with, well, now we can, now, before it's just dealing with the mind, sending images and stuff, but we could deal with the soul. Now the soul seems to be in these tubes, things in the brain cells, which is probably theoretical. It's not actually true. Obviously this is fiction, but the whole point is that basically the third partner of the Death Gun in the third season, he was never captured, he was never free, and he accidentally poisons Kirito and finds them. And so basically people take them and put him in the game. Now he was already in this game thing, but it's not really a game because it was it uses people's souls. And the people in this game, the people created this thing, actually figured out how to recreate souls in the game, like and so basically you have living people inside this, but they don't have bodies in the real world. I think that's what they're kind of going with. I missed one of the me and my dad missed one of the episodes because it started it recorded wrong, and unfortunately this episode pretty much explains a lot. I went back and watched it, and oh man, it does explain a lot. But that was interesting. And so but yeah, so real souls and stuff like that. So the arc isn't completed yet, but so far it's really interesting. I basically, one of the main characters, like I said, got seduced, and now he became an integrity knight. I don't want to go more in depth with this because it's not finished. The arc is not finished, but I thought this was weird to me because a main character, and sometimes you really want to know something, you can't wait. So I looked up online, and I know what happens to the main character that got seduced. It's kind of sad because you got to enter the character, but I won't go in depth because that will go into spoiler territory. I don't know how the website knows because I think there's a manga for this or something on it, definitely a story or something like that. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. I like Sword Art Online. I would recommend it. Other people might not. They said just stream it. I would want to buy it actually, but but that's my opinion. I really enjoyed this series, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll be doing maybe more anime reviews, like My Hero Academia, Naruto, Boruto, stuff like that. I might actually do that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you're new, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can notify for my next upload. My my YouTube channel website is down in the description as always, and thank you. Goodbye.